Funny talk. That's it. That's the theme song. Fuck you.
It starts with a podcast, a bunch of waveforms, open Audacity, and then say things about Doug Funnie and his Nickelodeon show. Welcome to Funny Talk. Let's get on with the show. Here's my friend Yuri.
Hey, I'm Yuri the Canadian.
He is my best friend.
Yeah, man.
And then there is Laura. And then there is Laura. Oh. Do you think she missed her cue?
It's an internship, not a job.
Ah, shit, that's right. Fuck. Because we really can't, we're going to do the full thing, but then we really can't do the full song for Laura.
Yeah. Oh, I hope she's listening.
Damn it. All right, well, no matter.
Well, it is a bit of a matter because, like...
Well, I know. We did rehearse it. We did rehearse the song.
We did the number. We practiced, and we are the Funny Talk gang.
We're the Funny Talk trio, is what they call us.
Well, now we're more like the Funny Talk duo, and only one of us are actually funny.
Well, we did start as a... Which one is that?
I'm all about self-deprecation.
Oh, so
you're
the funny one.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. But we did start off as a duo. So you could say it's like a return to form.
It's retro Funny Talk.
Retro Funny Talk. Flashback to 2 months ago when we started this podcast. Boy, our humble beginnings.
Yes.
We were just getting a couple dozen views, and now we get over 3 couple dozen views.
Yeah, moving up.
A week.
We were just out of our program, out of work.
And now both of us have no jobs.
Yeah, less money in my bank account.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, but we still do this.
But you know what? I feel like, this is a fresh, it's a fresh start. Laura will probably be back next time we do this, though, but I feel like this is like, we can just, get back to our roots.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn. No more women, am I right?
Yeah, you were telling me about it.
Oh, my God.
Women. Yeah.
Just talk all the time.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to cut all this because it's going to make me cringe. Welcome, everyone, to Funny Talk. Today's a very special episode. We're going to be talking about not an episode of Doug, but a Doug live show called Disney's Doug Live.
That's right, not Nickelodeon.
Disney's Doug Live. We're going to jump ahead a little bit to Disney's Doug. This is after Nickelodeon decided that they didn't want to make any more episodes of Doug. Jim Jenkins, I guess he shopped it around because I guess he owned the rights, or Nickelodeon did, and they sold it. Either way, I think actually Jim Jenkins owned the rights. But anyways, then they sold it to Disney. Whoever did, they sold it to Disney, and Disney picked it up for another 65 episodes. A theatrical film that was not supposed to be theatrical, but they made it theatrical anyways.
Yeah.
And most of all, last but not least, a Doug musical at Disney's MGM Studios.
That's right. It's not just live. It's a fucking musical. Which is great because the show's characters, they have the most pleasant voices. And a musical seemed natural, did it not?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, also, they're all human characters, too, so I guess that's kind of their thought process behind making it a musical. Because they couldn't really do a musical out of... I guess they could have done a musical out of Recess or Pepper Ann.
Did they?
No, they didn't. Because none of them had movies. Recess had a movie. But they never... Because this is... Okay, the opening dates for Doug Live was March 1990?
No.
March 1999.
Yeah.
And then it closed in May 2001. So that's like 2 full years of Doug Live.
This is a live performance of Doug, and it takes place, like you said... Was it MGM Studios?
Yeah, they changed names since to Disney's Hollywood Studios because MGM wanted out.
Yeah. And yes, it went from 1999 to 2001. 1999 was also the year that Disney's Doug, the TV show, ended for good. And it's the same year the movie came out. So I guess you could say that 1999 was kind of the best and worst year for Doug enthusiasts.
It's the year of Doug.
And this started, and this is just frankly awful. But
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
But
yeah, but it's the same month actually that the movie came out. So this is for promotion.
Disney as Doug Live, you mean?
Yeah, actually, I read about this. They premiered during the musical, during the theatrical premiere party for the movie's release. They actually did a live performance of Doug Live for the people there, which included the Olsen twins.
What were they, performers?
No, they just were invited.
It was like someone thought what's the name of the showrunner again?
Jim Jenkins.
Like someone woke up and said this has got to be the year that we get Jim Jenkins to do all Doug.
All Doug shit.
We have to they wanted to stuff Doug in a cannon and then shoot him off for the entire world to bask in the glory of this cultural phenomenon known as Doug.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this was also the year. It was like the beginning of the end of Doug.
End of Doug. Maybe we should have done this for our last thing. Well, whatever. We're doing it now. Fuck you.
To lay the groundwork, this live performance of Doug, which is not the same as Nickelodeon's Doug, because it takes place. I guess the Disney's Doug. The kids are no longer in the 6th grade.
Yeah,
they are now in the 7th grade.
Yeah,
so things are really heating up.
Things are different. Hormones are flying.
Yeah, and they look different too.
Yeah, they look kind of different. Doug kind of wears he wears a longer sleeve shirt.
Let's talk about the experience of seeing these characters that we are familiar with, seeing them live in person.
It's horrifying.
How so?
Were you not horrified?
I can.
At some of them.
What I was most horrified with, they actually, Roger, or Demon Roger, as I refer to him, and will refer to him in this one podcast.
He looked like a...
They actually went with green lumpy skin and red hair for the whole live performance. See, this did not translate well to the stage. No. He looks like... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, he looks like Macklemore if Macklemore was in The Mask.
Who was Macklemore? He's
the guy with the thrift shop guy. I'm gonna pop some tags. I got $20 in my pocket. And he's the one who did that gay rights song. He's like, man, if I was gay, I feel like everyone hates me. Have you read the YouTube comments lately? Everyone says, yo, that's gay. Man, I don't like that. I just wanted to say that.
Sounds like Mitch Hedberg.
Well, Mitch Hedberg wasn't around for YouTube.
No,
he died right before YouTube started.
He missed that.
Missed that boat.
He looks like, to me, Demon Roger. It took me a long while because I saw him, and of course we watched this on YouTube. It wasn't good. It was filmed in a studio audience, and it was shitty quality, kind of just the way they filmed it. Well, no offense, but I mean, it just wasn't the best, and it was hard to get a close, clear view of any of them.
Also, the stage was fucking wide as shit. So you can't capture everything.
I mean, this isn't meant to be broadcast on television.
No, it wasn't. So, it wasn't made for that.
But that's why I couldn't really see. But I knew that something about Demon Roger's face,
looked horrifying.
There was another image that it distinctly reminded me of was, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Some clip or some face from a movie or a TV show, and I started going through my head all these green characters, and I thought he looks like I don't know, a combination between first ones that came to my mind, Howie Mandel's monster character named Maurice from the 1989 Fred Savage movie Little Monsters.
Little Monsters?
If anybody hasn't seen that, I really recommend you go and watch Little Monsters immediately. It's good 80s cheese kids horror, but maybe it's even PG-13, so it might not even be kids. And it was
a deep cut, Yuri.
What?
Little Monsters.
What do you mean a deep cut?
That's a deep cut. That's you're probably the first person today in the whole world that has mentioned that movie.
But it's the third time I've thought about it.
In your life?
No, today. Oh. But I was also thinking about it a lot last night as well. And it's a good fun. Daniel Stern is in it.
Daniel Stern,
Marv from Home Alone, plays a fun dad that gets all strict, but then he still screams a lot, so it's funny. He has
to deal with doesn't what's his face, Howie Mandel, live under this kid's bed?
Yeah, Howie Mandel. He's a monster who lives under the kid's bed.
That sounds like a monster.
It sounds like his real life. He was
Jesus. Oh yeah, because he got busted a couple years back.
Doing what?
for like creeping underneath kids' beds.
Oh,
at
right,
night.
that's right. The rules. The
right.
rules
That's
are
why he got shaved.
he has
Not because he's a germaphobe, because he went to the slammer.
because he had in this movie in 1989.
Right.
Howie Mandel spent his time hiding under Fred Savage's bed. And he always had horns, and he had purple hair, and he didn't have green skin,
No.
but it was lumpy, purplish, grayish skin, and the same kind of, I don't know, facial prosthetics they used. I believe they put like all kinds of lumpy shit on Demon Roger's face. Anyway, so there was some more recent there. There was also any Dick Tracy movie villain.
Just that. Yeah.
Kermit the Frog, of course.
Yeah, a lot of deep cuts, Yuri.
And just frankly a demon. But then I realized what it was. There was like that one image in my mind. I was trying to figure out what it was from, and really, he looks like Blanca, the Green Street Fighter from the movie.
Yeah,
he looks exactly like him.
No, you're right.
Even the red hair and everything.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He's confirmed for Street Fighter V. By
Street
the way.
Fighter 5. Wait a minute.
Roger Klotz is confirmed for Street Fighter V. Hey, Ryu!
Whenever he fights, he'll go, yeah!
Where's your shoes, wise guy? And he just gets, like, punched in the face.
Oh, I'd love to beat the shit out of Roger.
Oh, dude, I'd play that.
If I was a kid,
DLC.
I would have been absolutely horrified. If I was one of the kids who would be old enough, like, the appropriate age to go and see Disney's Doug live.
Right.
That would just be horrifying. Like, I wouldn't be paying attention to anything whenever Demon Roger entered the stage.
Uh-huh.
In the show, he was like an older asshole kid. Here, he's more physically menacing, I found.
See, I found, like, because usually Roger in the show, he's more just, like, a maniacal dickwad. Like, I said before, he's a sociopath. But in this show, he felt like he was actually more of a bully.
Mm.
Like, he just kind of, like, teased Doug and was more just, like, a dick to Doug, but it wasn't like he was meticulously planning Doug to humiliate Doug at every moment.
I didn't think about that. They actually broke away from that plot.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. But this episode, if you want to call it an episode, it doesn't have much of a plot, to be honest.
No.
I'll get to that later at the end of it.
No, and all its plot, it steals from other episodes.
Yeah, but... Yeah, okay, so there was Demon, Roger. What about Doug?
We're back to talking about the cop. No, let's I want to save Doug for last. Why don't we talk about Patty Mayonnaise?
Okay, well, I mean, for Patty,
Almost.
it's easy to look. It's an easy look to mimic. Just get a shitty wig, a bland shirt, and a horrible shrill
they
voice.
got a shitty wig, though. They got the shittiest wig they could find. Huge. Why is her hair so huge?
It looks like...
Is it so it can read, I guess?
Does it have an orbit?
Well, in Disney's Doug, like if you seen clips, like Patty has short hair, she got like a haircut, but in this one, it looks like it's back to her like normal Nickelodeon Doug hair.
Get your shit straight, Disney.
And same with Roger's. Roger usually wears like a sleeveless jacket in the Disney's Doug, but in this he wears the classic jacket, classic sleeved jacket.
Really? I thought it was the other way around.
No, he does. Oh. You're right. So I thought that was kind of weird that they were selective in what designs to mimic for the stage. Because Skeeter's in his Disney's Doug attire. He has like a vest on.
Okay.
Skeeter's...
sounds exactly like Skeeter.
Yeah, the guy who did Skeeter did an amazing job.
But for some reason looks a lot like Captain Planet to me. I don't know what it was.
Hey, you're right.
Didn't you not?
I got it. Now that you mention it.
Even if it was like the right attire for the cartoon, mixed with, I don't know, the actor and the way that he had his makeup, it sounded just like Skeeter, looked just like Captain Planet. It was interesting. I don't really remember much Captain Planet though. I just like remember what it looks like.
Captain Planet being shitty.
Yeah, but my friends, they went through some sort of weird renaissance a few years ago. I didn't understand it. They're fucking weird.
Right. But they just watched Captain Planet.
Yeah. In college, they went on a college binge watch of Captain Planet, and then my friend and his girlfriend dressed up like Captain Planet, and I guess there's a girl on the show, maybe his nemesis or his girlfriend or whatever.
Is it the blonde girl?
So who's ever equal to Captain Planet?
Like Gaia? I think her name's Gaia.
That's who it was, yeah.
Yeah. She's voiced by somebody famous. I can't remember who. But anyways, enough about Captain Planet. That's for our Captain Planet cast.
Which is coming out next week.
Next week. Look out for it. Then we got to talk about Doug's costume.
Yes.
Oh boy. You know what? You would think, I guess when they were planning the show, you'd think that they would like, oh, Doug's costume, that should be easy. They fucked that up so bad. It looks like literally, I'm not even kidding. I could probably make a costume of that quality in like a weekend.
It looked like a Halloween costume.
It did.
Together.
It looked like a terrible, like, there's like terrible like Doug parodies on YouTube of like Doug the movie, and it's all like, I'm going back to Bluffington, and they all wear the same fucking clothes they did 12 years ago for some reason.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're all shitty. Don't watch them.
It's like when you show up for gym class and you get an oversized like jersey or whatever.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
costume.
the actor just showed up to the set and they
Painted
said,
it green.
Take this. Yeah.
Here's some green paint. There you go. You're Doug now. Also, Doug's hair, I guess, would be the most problematic part about his costume because it's kind of just strings. It's like doing like Bart Simpson hair. It's kind of merged into his skin.
That is not like what I visualized Doug's hair looking like. Aside from the point that he's a grown man in this as well, but also like his hair just...
His hair's brown?
His hair is like slicked up and styled and
it's actually a hairpiece.
I know. I read the same thing called Spike.
Yeah. It's called the Spike, and it had like little. Yeah. It looked terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like it does not seem Doug to me. That's the whole like it's the costumes alone. That's kind of why I'm like, why would this is a terrible idea that somebody had.
Yeah, it totally was. I honestly. Whatever, you can say that, but at the same time, this whole thing was a bad idea.
Well,
I think they could have casted lamer for Doug. Like, if they wanted to stay true to the character, they could have casted way lamer. I didn't buy this guy. I mean, this guy
so Broadway.
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure he's capable of being lame, but I think he's cooler than Doug. And
I don't. You think he's cooler than Doug?
I think Doug is lamer. That's another way of putting it.
I thought. Well, I don't know. You're right though. He just like I was saying this last time.
He was too smooth for Doug.
I think he was smooth. He was kind of dorky.
No. But he wasn't smooth, but he was more smooth than Doug is.
Oh yeah, like Doug would just say something. You'd be like, "Oh, I love you, Patty Mayonnaise." I mean, but I don't know. He's just so like I said before. Like he's just so Broadway. He's like the guy from the Book of Mormon, but he's supposed to play Doug, and it just seemed like a weird decision in casting.
He definitely sounds like he sings for Disney, though. Like he sung the songs in a very Disney way. Like
it's Broadway. It's
Broadway. It up. Yeah,
but he didn't even try.
It reminded me of Aladdin.
Didn't even do the voice, though. That's kind of like it seemed kind of so weird. Why didn't they get him to do like a Doug voice? I guess it's a hard voice to do.
I thought he kind of sounded like Doug.
Oh, Patty Mayonnaise.
Not when he was singing, but when he was doing his journal entries and talking about.
Really? I thought he sounded nothing like Doug. He's like, "Dear Journal, today I saw the most amazing thing."
Well, it was too enthusiastic. It didn't sound just like him. It was too
Doug's
enthusiastic.
more just like, oh, I guess that's kind of cool.
I mean, also, like, yeah, the vest, I thought, it was too big, which made him look pretty pathetic. It looks like he's actually wearing a fencing vest or something like that.
Yeah.
And with so many things that could go wrong, like, so many things that could have gone wrong with a live adaptation of Doug. How could they screw up with the stupid green vest? Like, that was the easiest thing they had to do.
Yeah, it didn't even look like it fit him.
It didn't.
Maybe that... there must be a reason why they did that. But, like, it just looks so bad. It looks so cheap. But anyways, let's get to the show proper. I say that a lot.
The show proper?
Let's get to the thing proper.
That's a thing.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Let's get to the thing.
Let's get to the show proper. What's unproper for the show? Jesus, I suck.
Why don't we try getting to the show unproper? Because that's what we usually do.
Let's get to the show unproper.
We're just going to do our improper ways. Okay?
It's our improper opinion on this. Okay, so I liked what they did. They actually reenacted the Doug intro a little bit, or like the title cards. Because like he opens the door and it's like, and they even got the sound effect.
Oh, we have to mention too. Sorry, like the best thing about like the whole Disney thing that's way better than the Nickelodeon is the theme song. It's way better.
You know what? I would agree with you. Yeah, I do like the theme song better.
Okay,
there's more of a melody.
And it just I like always the door opens do 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 do
do do, and it gets stuck in your head too.
Yeah.
Like I was just whistling it the other day, and I was like, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, and then you feel lame and you stop.
No, you feel awesome. I don't know. It makes you happy. It's like, yeah, I get to watch Disney's Doug, and then you watch Disney's Doug, and you're like, oh. So, anyways, so then he opens the door and he goes, "That's me," and everyone claps. And then there's a small Asian woman dressed as Pork Chop runs out and throws like confetti at the audience, like Pork Chop, no,
a bucket of confetti.
Yeah. And then then they play peek. They go to Doug's bed and they play like peekaboo, which is weird. They just like one of them goes on one side and they look over, and then the other person on the other side like ducks down so they can't see them. I didn't get the blocking there.
It's a musical. It doesn't like musicals,
but it wasn't a musical sequence.
But it was. It's the whole thing acts like a musical in that musicals. I was just thinking they're more about the. I've said before that I like when I'm writing, I like to focus more on character than the story or plot itself.
Yeah.
And with a musical, that's what musicals pretty much do. It's all about the character more than the story, plus these dazzling musical numbers.
Yeah.
But in order to make a musical good, and being that musicals are all about character, you need great fucking music, and you need great great characters.
Yeah.
Which is a main reason why Doug as a musical doesn't work
well.
No.
I kind of like, you know what?
You're right. He's playing peekaboo. The plot isn't moving forward because there's no plot to tell.
Well, that was like 2 seconds. You can't really criticize that for slowing the show down.
Well, yeah.
And that was you got to do the intro. I mean, if the show didn't start that way, it would be weird.
What happens in the intro? Well,
nothing.
Doug reveals in his diary. Get this. He reveals in his diary that
he moved to Bluffington.
that we won't believe what has happened lately. You're like, oh, this is a little bit of deja vu here. As always, he announces that he'll start the story from the beginning. Which means he has to sing a song
fucking year ago
about when he first moved to Bluffington, which happened in 1991. But this is just
it's a long 8 years.
Is this just like one big flashback episode? Is that what the whole live thing is?
I guess. Well,
Disney's so cheap.
Well, no, now they are, but I think they made that because like people like think about it like. People going to Disney World not everyone's gonna know who the fuck Doug is.
Mm-hmm.
So they did that whole sequence to like establish who Doug was, why we care about him. I mean, they failed because I don't give a shit about Doug, but like,
well, it's funny because
they're trying to introduce all the characters.
It's hard. I hardly understand. I hardly understand a thing that Patty Mayonnaise is squealing for starters. It's very annoying.
She didn't sound like.
So I guess she was casted well.
I thought her voice sounded more like, a lot of people say this, her voice sounded more like BB from the purple girl.
Oh,
that
right.
She always talks to. She sounds more
yeah.
like her than she does like Patty Mayonnaise. But to be fair, like that's a hard voice to do and to sing with. And I thought the actress did a pretty good job.
I assume that I don't know. I don't know if someone could like invent that voice or if it just has to be something you carry as a burden your entire life.
Well, they're very similar voices.
Yeah, they're both kind of annoying.
Like okay, I'll try doing Patty. Hey, Doug.
And what was the other one sound like?
BB. She sounds like, hey, Doug.
Is one of them like Patty shrill?
Voice.
Patty is more shrill, and then
Patty's
BB's more
like
Patty's
has
more like,
a southern accent, and then BB sounds. Fuck, I can't do BB. We've established this.
Apparently, the big story Doug has to tell is that, get this, he is in love with Patty Mayonnaise.
What? And only Skeeter knows about this.
And
Which I'm like, Doug, come on, Doug. I think everybody knows about this.
Skeeter's such a fucking gossiper too. You know, if Skeeter knows, everybody knows. We have a friend like that.
You know that Skeeter's gonna tell.
I really hope that somewhere amongst all those families in the audience and the crying babies at this recording, there was like one cynical Doug fan like me, just brooding and shaking his head in the audience.
Oh no!
At the shameless rehashing of plot happening here.
Yeah,
he was the one person there with his arms folded, expecting art in like a real theater.
He just wanted an episode of the show, Doug, without actually thinking about how is that possible on stage.
Yeah,
which it isn't. But you know.
And I love how after the first 5 minutes of the first like the musical opening, Doug, and it feels so weird thinking of this schmuck as Doug, all due respect to the lead actor.
Yeah.
But it turns out...
He's doing very well for himself, by the way.
Oh, is he? Well, good. I'm happy. I guess this was a good springboard.
Yeah.
But he turns to Pork Chop and says, "Well, Pork Chop, Now do you get the picture? And Pork Chop very adequately replies, like, with an indecisive shrug, like, just like the rest of us. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Doug.
Doug, I don't even remember 2 days ago. Why the fuck are you going to remember who coming here?
Doug, I'm a fucking dog.
Doug, come on. I'm going to die, like, pretty soon.
And Doug chuckles and goes, "Oh man, like Pork Chop doesn't understand what I'm talking
to my fucking dog."
The thing is, Pork Chop's absolutely right. What the fuck is the big picture, quote unquote, supposed to be here? That Doug hangs out with Captain America, the Mask, and a shitty food condiment. That would be
Who was
Skeeter,
Captain America?
Roger.
You mean Captain Planet? You said Captain America.
Yeah, you're right. Captain Planet. I mean, and that he likes the shitty food condiment, mayonnaise,
patty mayo,
which is nothing new to Doug overall.
Yeah. Well, didn't you like the part where all the animated characters walked on screen, and then you see Skeeter and Mayo and Roger. And then all three of them they jump out from the screen into live action and go, surprise!
It's not a surprise.
I was surprised.
Right?
Everyone claps.
There was some funny moments where people clapped. Laughed.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't expecting it.
But I love Roger. The person who's Roger's voice is so terrible, but I kind of love it because I just think it's so like. It just sounds like somebody plugging their nose.
At some points it does, and at other points it doesn't sound like Roger at all. We'll get to it.
Right.
But yeah,
I love the part at the beginning where Doug's in the song. Doug's listing all his friends, and then Roger's like, and Roger. Such an asshole. I love it.
What does Doug say? He says, at least in one of the versions, I saw like a couple of different versions for the first 10 minutes, but he says, and that's Roger. He's kind of. Or he says something about Roger. Do you remember?
I don't.
He comments. Maybe it wasn't in the version.
He's a dick.
Yeah, he's a fuck.
He's just a fuck.
A green fuck.
And I love the part. I love their line in the song where like, and everyone else in this street, and then Roger's like, those losers.
He says that.
Yeah, he does. One of the versions. I don't think all of them, but
All right, so yeah, he tells Skeeter, and Skeeter is trying to help Doug be cool to impress Mayonnaise.
Oh, we skipped a part.
Oh, which part?
When they got the tickets.
Oh, right.
The whole.
No, in the version I saw.
Oh, maybe not.
This happens first.
Okay, you go. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, like no, I'm right.
No, you're right.
I'm right.
You're right.
I'm right.
Oh,
Skeeter,
you're right.
Skeeter. I'm right.
All right, you're right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, but
Sorry.
I was right. Skeeter is trying to help Doug be cool, impress Mayonnaise. Like. Oh boy! Like, hopefully Patty doesn't. Hopefully Patty doesn't get a knock at her door and find Doug blowing himself. You know
what?
Well, I mean, because Skeeter's the one who's trying to teach him
how
to
would
be
Doug
cool.
blow himself?
Oh, you forget so quickly. Remember when Skeeter shoved his head up his ass in like episode 2?
Yeah.
Well, that's the kind of thing he thinks is
cool.
So
Skeeter's like, hey Doug, I got a new trick for you. I'll make you forget all about Patty Mayonnaise.
Honk honk.
But
why would he stick his head up his ass? I don't know. Who's to say? He's cool. He's a cool guy. He orders hamburgers by calling them
soggy stinkers.
Sloggy stinkers.
Sloggy sausages. We're getting back to our roots, Yuri.
We are.
I'm so glad Laura's gone. Fuck you, Laura.
Girls.
I hate them.
Anyways. God. So they find tips from this book called The Really Big Book of Dating for Boys.
I do not want to look in that book. How many pages do you think are stuck together? Oh.
Which is something that gets a good laugh from the audience, actually, which made me think that maybe it's supposed to, like...
For boys.
For boys, yeah.
Like he the big book of dating for boys, and that got a laugh.
Yes.
Because know what's ever going on in that book is like... Oh.
This is where the comedy is going, folks. It starts to feel more like Doug. Yeah.
Or what Doug should be.
So, yeah, it's the tickets.
The tickets. Oh, yeah. So, they hear on the radio that the Beats are getting back together for one more tour. Because, as I established last time, they did break up during Disney's Doug.
Right.
So now they're getting back for one last tour. And they have to... They call on a radio station that's giving away the last 2 tickets. Where does this sound familiar, Yuri?
And it's just 33 minutes of rehashing many episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say it now because I'm going to want to say this all the way throughout. like Disney doing these live performances of like TV shows or movies or like aspects of TV shows and movies. I think that this whole part of why this whole live Doug sucks is that they should have just stuck to either one episode and just redid a whole episode, like a really good episode, or redid like how the show is sectioned into 2 10-minute episodes. I think if they had done that, then they pick like really good ones, like really fan favorites, or like one of the best written episodes. And if they had done that,
but isn't that what they're kind of doing?
No, what they're doing is doing a flashback show essentially, where which are always shit. Like they're just it's too much at once. Think of like the old Disney World. For years they're probably still doing at the Indiana Jones thing.
They are still doing it.
With the very first scene from the very first movie in the franchise.
Yeah,
and everybody loves it, and they don't like try and like have him run around. It's not like Indy's like fucking running away from the ball and then falling off of the bridge and like tearing a guy's heart out and shoving a rock down a guy's pants and sending him to the crocodiles and then drinking the Holy Grail, and then what does he do? Yeah, and then in the fourth movie he has family fun time and he goes, it's not good,
fart time.
I got a fart. I'm Harrison Ford.
You're a teacher. Fart time.
Oh, he actually says
that's a line. I don't know. Anyways, why is that the line?
But I'm just saying, like.
But
they should have done like a real episode. I think it would have been way better.
But the Indiana Jones thing, like that's showing you like people love Indiana Jones and they want to see their favorite moments in Indiana Jones performed live with death-defying stunts that a couple of people died from.
At this point, Doug was pretty famous. It was famous enough for them to want to put it on.
Definitely had a following, yeah.
So they should have done something that would be actually good. I don't know.
Well, this is kind of what that was. Like, they're kind of reenacting, like, favorite Doug moments. A lot from Nickelodeon Doug, I've noticed.
Yeah, you can't just put everything... Like, part of what makes those moments so good is the whole story behind them, I think.
Right.
I don't think it's just not going to work.
But this is Doug. It doesn't have an in-depth story or anything like that.
It doesn't have in-depth character either.
No, I think it's, like, honestly, I don't really hate this show. It's kind of grates on me a little bit, but I don't think it's badly put together.
At the risk of sounding like, I don't know, like naive or too cynical or think I'm above. I mean, hey, I've never written an episode of Doug. I would have if I had the chance.
We should. Let's write spec scripts for Doug.
Yeah, we'll bring it.
Send them to Jim Jenkins.
No, Netflix is
Jim.
Doug.
Jim, what about Netflix? Have you considered this? More Doug.
They didn't take Hannibal season 4, but Doug season 12. I don't know, whatever.
Why didn't they take Hannibal?
I don't know. Neither would Amazon.
That seems so. Why not? Too expensive? It can't
I don't know.
Be.
Well,
it
goes expensive. Back to what I read briefly about something about the reason that I'm sure more people are informed about why Hannibal got canceled than what I am, but I just read something. No, I just mean I've hardly even read any of the stuff in the press about it. But that something to do with the rights of the other novels, and they couldn't acquire it. And I guess NBC didn't want to have to go through the hassle or something like that. Maybe Netflix feels the same. I don't know. I do not know.
Politics.
But maybe they could get picked up on, I don't know, like Fox or something.
Why can't they just change all the characters' names and then just call it Cannibal Man? Just call it Hannibal. Cannibal. Let's put a C in front of it. Boom, boom, boom. What's his name? What's the guy's name in the Hannibal?
Will?
Call him
Bill.
Wilb. Call him Wilb. And
not Bill. Will.
No, because Bill you'd have to re-record every time somebody mentioned his name. But Wilb, you just need to put a little at the end of every time somebody mentions his name. It doesn't even need to be by the same actor. Just like, Wilb. Anyways, we've gone way off topic this time.
Well, you have...
I guess Laura kind of put us on topic when she was around.
What, did she? That's what you need an intern for.
Ah, damn it.
Interns hold everything together like glue.
We need Laura. Anyways, where were we? Well, so they call them the Beats.
Yeah, the radio station.
They do the exact same thing, even down to what was the name of Chat Lippman's song inspired by Chat Lippman's painful gum surgery or whatever, and then like Pork Chop drops a book on Doug's foot for some reason, and then Doug's like, hey man, watch it really hurts, and he says that into the phone, and the guy's like, correct, and it's like the exact same thing that we saw in the last episode that we reviewed on the show, Doug Rocks.
Yeah,
he just gets the the tickets on an axe by mistake.
And Skeeter, he's a good friend.
Yeah.
And he hasn't forgotten that Doug has it out for Mayonnaise, so
right.
he gives Doug his ticket to give to Mayonnaise so that Mayonnaise and Doug can go beat off together.
I'm just kidding. You know what? I'm just gonna say it now. Doug's a bad friend.
Doug's a bad friend?
Doug's a fucking terrible friend.
How so?
He's taking a girl to the beats when he has a best friend that if Doug wasn't friends with Skeeter, he would not be a fan of the beats. This is confirmed.
Right.
In the last concert that they'll probably ever do in the foreseeable future, he takes a girl that he doesn't even know that even likes him.
Yeah.
What a shitty friend.
True. It's not like everything that we know about Doug from like the relationships he's forged throughout the other seasons.
Right.
We can't necessarily believe that they have even existed in this universe because it's all kind of all over the place. We don't.
Oh.
My point is, whatever may have been between Doug and the shitty condiment lady,
Patty Mayonnaise.
Patty Mayonnaise. It probably doesn't exist now, which means that it's not like she's a good friend. She's a girl that he likes, and he doesn't know if she likes him, whereas Skeeter is his best friend.
Right.
And I'm just saying it would be different if all three of them were close friends together.
Well, they all seem to be pretty. I think later on.
Well, then I don't. If that's how
him and Patty get more close as friends, but like, even still, like, you were with Skeeter when you got the tickets. Skeeter's the reason you're into this band. Take Skeeter. Don't take Patty Mayonnaise. That's stupid. Don't be a dick, Doug.
And Skeeter was a good friend because he probably sensed that. I mean, I was thinking,
well, yeah.
Doug's got to get those tickets and take Patty as like the person watching it. So I guess I was kind of involved in the story a little bit. But Skeeter, he would have, if I was in his shoes. Pardon me.
Skeeter shoes.
If I was in Skeeter's shoes, gross. I would have picked up on like that sense that Doug wants the other ticket, and I would have offered it to him, assuming that he would say, "No, of course we'll go together." And so when he offered it to him, Doug's like, "Oh, really, Skeeter? Thanks," and takes it.
Yeah. That's kind of what I think Skeeter is getting on to. But Skeeter, you know what? Skeeter's a really good guy because he doesn't seem like visibly upset by this or anything.
No, he doesn't. Well,
he probably should be.
He's not confrontational.
No, he's not. But like, man, imagine Skeeter how he felt when when he left Doug's that day, and he's like, "That fucking friend,
honk honk,
honk honk, not fucking fair."
But then,
this day I'm gonna take my stupid Patty Mayonnaise. Doesn't even like you.
Mayonnaise!
Honk honk.
Honk 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 honk.
So yeah, I was really mad about that when I wrote my notes.
Well, despite Skeeter probably...
Does Patty even like the Beats? Sorry.
Well, no, I think she went to the concert in the first episode that they appeared in.
Did she?
Or wait a minute.
I don't think she did. I don't think she mentioned... She wasn't even in that episode.
She was supposed to go...
She was in Doug's Fantasy.
But
and that was it.
I thought Roger took her.
Roger took her in this version.
No, I know that. I thought he took... Are you sure he didn't take her in the other one?
No, he didn't.
Okay. Well, then... Yeah, I guess... Fuck you, Doug.
Fuck you, Doug.
But despite Skeeter secretly holding this against Doug and being pissed off at him, they still do after he gives him the ticket, they still do a horrible Skeeter Doug song and dance thing.
I like this song.
You know what? I kind of
zoned out. If I was anybody else at all, I would standing 10 feet tall. I would tell her I liked her.
He screams out. Or wait, no, Doug chickens out, asking Patty out at the end of it, though. Because she comes along when he's singing, right?
Right. Well, I like how they incorporate, like, Doug's fantasies into this show. They just kind of change the lighting, and then, Doug changes posture and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, there's the part in the song where Patty's like, I heard you on the radio. And then, goes to, the lights dim, and she goes like, oh, Doug, you were so totally cool. And then it goes back normal, and Doug's like, wait, what? And she's like, all I said was way to go.
Yeah, see, I started thinking he's on drugs again. Well, I couldn't figure out how, there was no way to justify that theory, so I didn't really...
No.
But he does scream out... He asks out Patty, and then he screams out like he's a loser. You know?
Yeah, are you delusional?
And for once, Doug is entirely right. I think that this realization he had was the best chance he ever had at becoming any cooler than he actually wants to.
Right.
Because once you know that you have a problem, it's just like any addiction, you know. Like instead of running with this, you know, self-awareness, Doug comes up with a by far his worst idea ever.
What's that?
He compliments Mayonnaise's beautiful voice, declaring that it sounds like a raisinette. Actually,
no, because Skeeter's trying to give him lines.
He's feeding him lines.
He's feeding him lines, so he keeps messing him up.
So it was both. They're both idiots, and actually, Doug and Skeeter, they're giving an accurate description of her voice if they mean to say that it reminds them of a dried up bitter fruit. But
spaghetti.
What?
He also says spaghetti.
Yes, right. Yeah. What's he compare spaghetti to? Her hair.
Her hair. Your hair. Oh yeah. Your hair is like. At first, it was like Aunt Betty's. It's like Aunt Betty's. Like no, it's spaghetti. And
Skeeter hears this.
And your laugh is like confetti.
Does he actually say all that?
Yeah, Skeeter's like whispering it to him.
Oh, okay.
And from he gets thrown into like the men's room, and then he just whispers.
But he says something wrong. Like he's
Doug is saying it wrong. Doug is saying it wrong.
He's like, fuck, Doug, no, not that. He's like,
God damn it,
not fucking raising that, you idiot.
Why the fuck do I even bother?
But he keeps feeding him these one-liners for Patty that suck more and more.
Oh, they're bad.
More than killer tofu.
Killer tofu.
Yeah. And even
how bummed were you that there was no killer tofu?
I was thinking that earlier. And the song they did sing.
It's like, yeah. You got the call. It's like not
Bono.
as good. It's not as good.
You got the call?
Yeah. That's like if they're going to like a Rolling Stones concert and they're like the first time you hear he listens to like Sympathy of the Devil, and then nowadays it's all just like back to zero. Back to zero.
They actually used to sing real songs, but now they just sing like the kind of background music from a shitty old video game or something. Doesn't matter.
No, it's just like boop boop boop. Anyways,
well, Patty must feel hurt because Doug's awkwardly praising all of her worst qualities. You know, it's like if you go up. It's like if you go up to somebody with like, I don't know, like they have a huge nose. And you're like, wow, that's a small nose you got there or something.
I was like, Doug. We thought they were insulting him when they kept talking about his schnoz.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Big schnoz.
Anyways, Doug acts like this crazy fucking mental patient.
Yeah.
And then Patty calls him crazy, literally, and walks off.
You guys are so crazy.
And then Doug and Skeeter sing some more.
And then Roger comes
Demon
in. Roger, I love his introduction. He just like I think there's like a guitar riff maybe when he walks into the room. He's like, and he's like, hey, look who got 2 tickets to the Beats. And then he takes Patty.
He comes in and he makes a child cry in the audience.
Oh yeah, I think I heard that in one of them.
I'm telling you, it's like some kids would not be able to concentrate on any fucking other thing on the stage when that guy enters.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be scared.
And Doug, sorry, go ahead.
So anyways, then so Roger takes Patty to see the Beats, and Patty goes, and then
Doug has a nervous breakdown over his well-deserved humiliation.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, though.
Yeah.
Like if we're gonna ask out a girl and somebody else has to have the girl before he got the chance to.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have made fun of her horrible voice and hair.
Well, Doug doesn't know how to act in social situations. He has autism.
Maybe Skeeter purposely compromised Doug because he was pissed off that Doug accepted the ticket when he offered it to him.
So like Skeeter was trying to saboteur him?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Skeeter...
This adds a different level to this whole thing.
Well, that's what I always look for in these...
What if Skeeter bought those 2 tickets and then gave them to Roger so he would take them, only if he can give one of them to Patty Mayonnaise.
The last scene in the entire series ever, or at the end of the movie, should have been like it's revealed that the camera pulls back and Skeeter's like rubbing his hands together in the corner. He's like, "Ha ha! It's happening! It's happening!"
Fuck you, Doug!
Fuck you, Doug! It was me all along.
I motherfucker!
I run Roger's life. It was all my idea.
Does Roger have a crush on Patty?
Yeah, I mean, I assume he just wants, to bang her.
Well, at the end of the thing, spoiler alert, like Patty's like, I think Roger thought we were on a date.
Oh yes, that's right.
So I think he does like confirmed have the hots for Patty Mayonnaise too.
Yeah, which is great. It's like
it's conflict.
It's in a sense, I mean, Demon Roger or Roger in general too is Doug's nemesis.
Right.
I mean, for a Y7 rated TV show for kids.
Right.
And they do look an awful lot alike in terms of the animation.
Same voice actor in the first version.
So
Billy West.
As Doug's having this nervous breakdown, he has to escape, and his answer to that is to conjure up something I wasn't familiar with.
Oh yeah,
Quail Man.
Quail Man.
What the fuck is Quail Man?
Quail Man shows up in Nickelodeon's Doug. For the record, I think he
never
shows
in
up.
Disney.
Oh,
except for here,
all the time in Disney's
Oh,
Doug.
too much.
Like I was reading through like the episode list of Disney's Doug, and like the last season of it, almost every other literally every other episode is a Quail Man episode. Because in Disney's Doug, they don't do like the two halves, 2 11-minute episodes. They just do one 22-minute episode, and like every other one was like Quail Man versus this thing, Quail Man versus that thing. Like they just beat Quail Man to fucking death by the end of the series.
Why?
I guess because he was popular.
What was the use?
He was popular superhero alter ego for Doug. So like Doug would imagine himself with like underwear over his pants and like a belt on his head, and he could fly and shit.
Let me ask you something. Was Mr. Dink ever in Disney's Doug?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because his wife Tippy becomes the mayor.
Oh,
that's
good for her.
Yeah, she's moving on up.
And
finally some enjoyment in her life.
Some
accomplishment.
He just stays like an unemployed. I guess it's hard to get employment when you're a registered sex offender, but
well, yeah, I don't feel sorry for him. Anyways,
yeah,
but the audience fucking loved Quail Man.
They were going apeshit.
Yeah,
what is this? His alter ego? Or?
Yeah, well, it's just another product of his overactive imagination. Like this is one of his remember Jack Bandit. In the second episode, it's like one of those kind of characters, but this one got popular because he's a superhero.
Jack Bandit, that was great.
And then, what's his dog's name? Pork Chop.
Yeah. Well, what about Pork Chop?
He's Quail Dog.
Quail Dog and Quail Man.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll just get it out of the way. I won't harp on this at all.
Sure.
But Quail Man, Quail Dog.
Yeah.
And I believe Quail Kid.
Yeah.
Audience member.
Gender neutral.
They all wear hook-shaped penises on their head. Nothing to do with the quails. Nothing to do with quails.
It's supposed to be a belt. I guess it's kind of like a cue. Maybe they'll explain it in the episode when we finally watch it, when they introduce Quail Man.
When we undoubtedly eventually get there.
We'll get there. And then...
so the superhero fantasy.
Yeah. What's Roger's alter ego? Dr. Rubber Suit?
Mr. Rubber Suit.
I'm not touching that one, by the way.
This is all from Doug's imagination.
All from Doug's sexual frustrations.
The story goes right off the fucking rails in this superhero.
Oh yeah,
right off the fucking rails, and he has another hallucination.
Has nothing to do with the plot, pretty much.
This is when I was thinking he must be on drugs. And during this hallucination, in which Demon Roger Demon Roger, he's talking like a middle-aged aristocrat, singing like a 1920s piano player.
Do you know what this part reminded me of?
What?
Have you ever seen the clips of the Spider-Man musical Turn Off the Dark?
The one where the guy fell?
Yeah.
No.
The Green Goblin's the main villain in that one, and
right.
he's pretty much he looks exactly like this with all the makeup and stuff. Because he's whoever played Green Goblin played him very flamboyantly,
right.
And he has this terrible song called A Freak Like Me.
A freak like me.
A freak like me needs company, and then he brings on all the members of the Sinister Six, all Spider-Man's other villains, and it's oh, and here's Kraven the Hunter, and here's a Venom. Oh, and watch out for Swiss Miss. It's some, and it's it looks it's terrible. It looks like a fucking Gwar concert started happening, and it's people at home, you gotta look this up. It's fucking ridiculous that they made this into a musical.
When I was watching this whole fantasy, I started thinking this is getting into 1994's Ninja Turtles Christmas special territory here. Just like how it has nothing to do.
Oh,
not,
the rap. The rap.
Dude, the rap.
The
Or
rap.
like a reggae version of
Deck
Partridge in a
the
Pear
house
Tree.
with pepperoni.
Yeah.
Gotta get a gift, gotta get a gift, gotta get a gift, gotta get a gift, gotta get a gift for Splinter. Anyways, sorry.
Okay, where was I? Yeah, that he just doesn't sound like Roger at all anymore.
No, he gave up on it.
And he's kidnapped Patty, the mayonnaise
Yes.
girl, and Quail Man's, and he's also kidnapped Quail Man's self-esteem.
Yeah. Doug is so fucking lame.
Right off the fucking rails.
Oh no, not my self-esteem. Oh, I wish we were doing Daria, because that was all about self-esteem.
That was a coincidence, or did you do that on purpose?
No, I didn't do that on
okay.
purpose. Anyways, not that well. Anyways,
Next week,
wrestling things that haven't happened yet.
Yeah. Anyways, they even grabbed that one poor kid and put a
Quail Man costume.
The Quail Man, the Quail
underwear
kid.
over.
That girl would be grown up now, probably.
Yeah.
And her life is ruined.
Hey, if you're listening to this girl that was Quail Kid in that video that was uploaded on YouTube, leave a comment.
Yeah, and I'm sure
explain your experience and whether or not you're in therapy right now. Also, are you successful?
But I wouldn't be surprised if your life is ruined.
Yeah, I apologize for bringing up a traumatic experience again. But I read a thing about that. That was actually just the kid they got from the Disney World.
Yeah,
from Disney World.
I'm sure that she was just happy to do that.
And I watched another version of it where
it's a different kid each time, right?
Yeah, but I watched one version where apparently the kid chickened out, and they had to just get one of Pork Chop's understudies to do it. So it's like Quail Kid, who's clearly not a child. He was like the same height as Pork Chop.
See, they're getting the kids involved, and it's Disney, but it's just it makes it even more.
Makes you feel special.
Not a
and
real
the kid
episode.
got to dance with Patty Mayonnaise. You know. That's
did
fun.
she?
Yeah.
I thought she was just there and had her line, but I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, she was. Well, she did dance with Patty Mayonnaise a little bit, and then she left.
That's cool.
Then Pork Chop escorted her out. I was like, "All right, kid, get the fuck out of here."
They just throw her out into the dumpsters.
But the whole part of this thing is like Doug can't be himself, because then he switches over to his another alter ego called Smash Adams.
No, I didn't notice. It was all just mayhem.
Because
it was the whole number
very
went
hard
on
to follow.
Too long.
Very hard to follow.
Sorry, go ahead though.
They become Smash Adams, which I guess is another alter ego that we'll see eventually. And he comes back in Quail Man. He just keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
What are the beats? You know, what are the beats to this?
Oh, they
story?
sing Killer Tofu.
Oh, do they?
The beats.
Oh,
Killer Tofu.
I got my Killer Tofu.
Anyways,
but there are no my point is there's no structure.
The beats of the story.
There's no structure in this whole thing.
Well, let's break it down. First scene.
No. I'm in this musical number. I mean, or in the whole
show,
the whole superhero fantasy.
What are the beats? Oh no, he needs to realize that he has to be himself. There's one beat.
That's really non-linear.
Yeah, but they have to fill 30 minutes. Yuri,
that was.
And apparently they cut a lot of stuff out too.
Good.
Like it was way over 30 minutes, and they cut a lot of stuff. Can't imagine why. It's pretty bare bones.
It's just a mess.
But it was kind of. I thought that was kind of fun how like the announcer guy, and how they kind of interact with the announcer.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, "I believe in you, Quail Man." And then Roger's like, "Oh, only one person believes in you." And then like the kid's like, "I believe in you, Quail Man." So only 2 people. Then the announcer's like, "I believe in you, Quail Man." It's like, "All right, fine, 3 people."
Is it the announcer who's like, "Come on, everybody, we all need to believe in
everybody
Quail
in the ABC studios at Disney's Hollywood Studios, please clap."
I wonder if they've ever had a heckler.
Fuck you, Quail Man.
Fuck you, Quail Man. I don't support you, Quail Man.
Boo.
Stay down. Stay down.
Underwear goes underneath your shorts.
Don't get up, Rock. Don't get up. Stay down. Okay, Mickey. Okay.
What's this, like, shitty Rocky?
Shitty Rocky. Superhero Rocky.
You gotta lose, Rock.
By the way,
you gotta lose.
I don't know if we've talked about this. Have you seen the new trailer for Creed?
Yeah.
Isn't it hilarious?
I'm hyped. Oh, shit, I said hyped. I'm excited. For Creed.
I think we were talking like the band. You love the band.
Can you take me higher to a place where Rocky may box?
Anyways,
what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Creed. I just want to say, like, I think we were talking about this the other night.
Right. That guy went crazy.
Who?
The Creed guy.
What do you mean?
He went on a big rant about the conspiracy theories about the government and stuff.
Well, who? Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
Or the filmmaker?
No.
Or Ryan Coolidge?
The Creed guy, the lead singer of Creed.
Oh, sorry.
Daniel Creed.
Is he a Creed?
Yeah. They're a family.
Oh.
There's Daniel Creed's the singer. Michael Creed's the guitarist. Jason Creed was the bassist. And Long John Bottom Creed was the drummer.
Wow, they were all brothers?
Yeah. Well, Long John Bottom was their dad.
Well,
Long John Bottom Creed.
Cool. Not.
Not Borat.
But the Creed trailer, I love how it is all about Apollo Creed's son. And it doesn't really line up exactly because Michael B. Jordan's 27, 28, so he would have been born the year that Rocky IV came out, and spoiler alerts, Apollo Creed dies in Rocky IV, and by that point he was in his 50s, which means that Apollo Creed was knocking girls up when he was in his 50s, and then he died, and
that's not unusual. He had wasn't his wife kind of younger?
I can't remember because Rocky IV is such an amazing movie. Not.
It is kind of an amazing movie. It's an amazingly bad movie, but it's great.
But in the trailer, it's all
Paulie gets a robot.
Who?
How is that not amazing?
Is that no? That's the third one.
No, that's the fourth one.
Oh wow!
That's Happy Birthday, Paulie.
How could they put so much bad stuff from that series in the one movie?
You know how bad that movie is? The Rocky theme wasn't even in that movie.
Well, the Rocky theme wasn't in. I think it was only really used. Oh, yeah, it was used in the first two. Then the third one.
Then it was sung by children in the second one.
And then in the third one, they went "Eye of the Tiger."
I think it was in the third one though.
It was probably in the
fight
at
scenes
the end or whatever.
Where they're like.
And then in the fifth movie and the sixth movie, they just used it because they realized, hey, it's Rocky. We're doing Rocky, right? We're gonna do Rocky. We're gonna do Rocky.
I love the fifth movie because it's them trying to go back to their roots, but then they don't do anything that's like the other Rocky movies, and that's not a bad thing. But it's they just fail so spectacularly at trying to do something new. You know?
You think it's better than the sixth one?
No, the sixth one's great.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The sixth one's the second best one.
I'd agree.
It goes Rocky 1, Rocky Balboa, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 3, 3, 4, 5.
What?
2, 3, 4, 5.
2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah.
This goes all the way down.
And but again, back to the trailer of Creed because we're still on this.
Aren't we talking about Doug?
I mean, it follows Creed. It follows Creed.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the trailer, Rocky emerges from the shadows, literally.
Which I love.
In the restaurant bar that he owns,
which I love,
and sits around drinking all day. And
Adrian's.
Apollo, yes, Adrian's.
That's why I love it. I love the trailer too because it has continuity between the last movie.
Yeah. It's not just acting like the last one didn't exist because it wasn't as famous as the other ones. Yeah.
No, you can tell Stallone really gives a shit about the Rocky continuity, which I love.
Yeah, and he comes out and
for the most part,
and Creed's like. I heard there was a third he's looking at a picture from Rocky 2 and he's like, this is your second fight. I heard there was an unofficial third fight between the two of you, which was at the end of Rocky 3.
Right. And they're going in the freeze frame.
Yeah, exactly. And Stallone, and there's dun, and then so Stallone comes out of the shadows and goes, how do you know all this? And then it shows, you get the feeling like Stallone's going to be supporting Creed and coaching him.
My eyes, Creed.
And in all the intercut of the trailer shows Creed training, and then he gets into the ring and he's pumped, and then it's intercut as he's mounting into the.
You gotta build some real hurting bombs, you know.
What?
I should have broke your thumb.
Oh, you're doing first, Rocky.
Woman weakened legs.
Woman weakened legs, Rock.
Woman weakened legs.
What?
That's a scene.
From which one?
Where it's Mickey was giving him a hard time for dating Adrian. From the first one.
Yeah.
He's like,
woman weakened legs, Rock.
All I'm trying to say is
Fuck
that I think it's hilarious when it's intercut with...
Jerk off in a sock.
I think it's funny when Creed is mounting into the ring, intercut with Rocky walking into his backyard and punching a bag.
Right.
It's they both have roads and obstacles to overcome.
I'm so pumped about that movie. Anyways.
All right. That's
back to Doug.
Yeah, Doug. finally he snaps back into reality.
He goes, they go to the concert, finally. Porkchop has backstage passes. Why? I don't know. That was Doug's answer. That was Doug's answer. Skeeter's like, how do you get those? And Doug's like, I don't know.
Is there no lead up to that at all? He just has them?
He just has backstage passes.
Well, maybe he was a superhero. Or he was probably on acid again, so who knows what the fuck he did. That was probably like a whole week of his life that we don't know what happened. I'm not naive. I know acid
Porkchop's a player. Porkchop's a player.
Porkchop's a player.
He just got those because he's so boss.
I like when Doug when he does snap back into reality, and while he's like coming out of like this wet dream or whatever he's been under forever. Not the first, but he goes, Skeet! He actually says that.
Skeet?
And then Skeeter runs up to him and tells him, hey, honk honk, and talks about he's like talking about the biggest and best Beats blowout in the history of the world, which essentially sounds like a 70s porn title, you know? Yeah. It totally sounds like one of those long, like when they didn't know how to like market porn because it was all new and stuff. So yeah, like running with this. They didn't know
how to market porn.
Well, they were still learning.
Two people having sex.
Is that what they're really doing? Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. Come right in and see for yourself.
They're having sex. Honey, we're going to the theaters tonight.
Is this a stage show? Are they doing a live on stage? No, it's on a motion picture. What? Anyways.
Stay here.
Anyways.
So running with this, Doug decides to go with Skeeter to this whole beat-off orgy. And they even, like, inarguably get boners before exiting the stage at this point. I don't know what they were trying. I don't know what they were trying to convey.
Boners.
What else they could have been trying to convey? But because they turn around.
Yeah.
After they decide to go beat off at the orgy together, this is what they do. They turn around.
Yeah.
And their backs to the audience. They thrust their pelvises forward, and they both at the same time go, "Whoa!"
They look up. They're looking up at the sign.
What?
There was a big sign that said, like, the Beats
I read it.
blowout. Yeah, they're looking up at the sign.
But it doesn't make any sense. Like, what are they learning?
Because they just got to the concert, and they wanted to see, like, wow, this is a big concert. It's to establish, establish where they were.
So no boners?
No, Yuri. No boners at Disney World. Wait.
There's always room for boners.
Boners at Disney World.
You've never seen that exhibit?
Oh, Walt's boner exhibit?
Walt's boner
where it's all just like clay casts of his penis.
And Mickey's.
Here at Walt Disney World, we have something we never had at Walt Disneyland. The blessing of size.
No. It's not even cast. It's like, they always said that we froze Walt's head. But we didn't. We froze his junk. His dick.
Why did we do that? Why didn't we do the brain or something that could be of use?
Why not his dick?
Why not?
Carry on the Walt Disney bloodline.
He does have, you can tell, that, like, there's two little bumps on it that kind of look like Mickey Mouse. So people theorize that's where it all started.
I'm
cutting all of this. This is terrible. I don't know.
No, this is like, this is quality stuff.
Yeah, quality with big, huge quotation marks. We're going an hour here. We haven't finished talking about
If they're doing Demon Roger, there's no reason we can't talk about
Walt Disney's
dicks.
frozen penis.
Yes, or worse. Doug Skeeter and Demon Roger, they run around the audience while the Beats play. Beating off.
Oh yeah, Roger's on stage and he's like, "Yeah, look, I'm on stage. Look, I'm on stage." And he gets thrown off stage.
Yeah,
that's kind of good.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. That was a good touch.
I like Roger's characterization better here than. Well, actually, no, I don't.
He was acting like a real teenager.
He was acting like a real bully, but I love Roger's like psychopathic ways in the cartoon. Mm-hmm. Like he just lives to fuck over Doug. But in this one, it feels like he kind of has. He just like a shithead.
Yeah, he's not doing anything except in Doug's perverted fantasy world, but like he's just being a bully. He's not actually up to any shit.
That's true. He's doing nothing malicious in this one, really.
So the Beats beat off for 1 fucking minute.
Do you know 1 minute? I got 1 fucking minute. Look at the screen up there. It says 1 minute. I'm not Justin Bieber, motherfuckers. Oh look, now I got nothing left. Good ridden. Listen to me. I've been around since 1988, and you only give me 1 minute. Well, I'll show you 1 minute. Smash guitar. God fucking love you all. We'll be back.
Is that Day Green?
That was Green Day.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I got them. Yeah. So I thought this was supposed to be like the best beat blowout ever.
Yeah.
But it's 1 minute. Mayonnaise comes along and says, that was pretty cool, but a little short.
So that's canon.
It was what?
It was canon.
What do you mean?
That's actually how long the show was. It was just one song.
Yeah, I know.
It was like the chorus of one song.
It was made of, like, they said, it was only a minute.
People probably paid like $300 plus for tickets at least.
Man, can you imagine like a comeback concert? Like Zeppelin got back together a few years ago, and they did a concert in London, and
it was like
they just come out and do like
wasn't it like 30 minutes or something?
No, it's longer than that. It was probably I think it was an hour at least.
Okay,
but still like a minute.
Just an hour?
I mean, these are the beats we're talking about.
Yeah, well, they're in the Doug universe. They're like bigger than Zeppelin.
Well, really?
Probably, I'd say so.
Oh man, that sucks.
Or that's awesome.
I get the feeling that Patty was watching Doug beat off during the beat off blower. Anyways, cue the late '90s Titanic James Horner-esque romantic flute music.
Right.
Skeeter goes to beat off on a shirt, and Doug and Skeeter, Doug and Patty Mayonnaise actually have like a cute romantic starlit walk at night. It's just like it was like a really nice, well written scene from a teen movie. That's what it reminded me of, like a coming of age, a guy and a girl who are just trying to. They're young. They don't know where they're going, and they share like that moment together, walking around the neighborhood.
Big ballad.
Yeah, cue the Disney-fied romantic song.
Here's what pissed me off about that song. Right beforehand, like Patty Mayonnaise is like, Roger thought we were on a date. Oh, well, were you, Patty? No, not really. A date would be different. And then she is like, so you mean it would be like a guy like me or something like that? It's like, I guess so. And then he goes into this big song. But while he's singing the song, like Patty's still talking. And what she's doing is she's describing what she would be doing, what she would want for a date to be if she was on a date with somebody.
Yeah.
Doug is singing over this. Doug, listen!
Listen to her.
She's giving you the most obvious clue ever. Frick.
I do that with girls.
When?
Well, I just over
you
the
start
years,
singing when they're telling you important
girls
shit.
Will be like dropping like hints. This is all in hindsight. I never really think about it at the time. But they like this and they like that, and then I'll say like, I like McDonald's. McDonald's.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The Minions are toys there right now, and
hey, how excited are you for that Minion movie?
I was just talking to a mutual friend of ours the other day about
how much you love Minions.
Well, how much actually excited we were in McDonald's, and I was going apeshit over the toys. They have all the Minion. Yeah,
they have the swearing one.
They have the swearing Minion too.
Yeah,
that goes.
Fuck
motherfucker,
you.
motherfucker. Every time you touch him, he goes, motherfucker. And
no, it goes, what the fuck?
no, that's the other one. That's the
purple. Oh, that's the caveman one.
The caveman one, and then there's the purple one, which goes, asshole. I don't know.
By the way, I'm not making that up.
What?
There's a caveman Minion toy that people like. It's all gibberish, but it sounds a lot like it's saying like, what the fuck?
What's it say? Like
I don't. Well, spinning. They speak gibberish, right? So
yeah. So they do a whole movie about the characters,
and they're all just saying like, fuck you.
I think is
I've
never even seen either of the Despicable Me's, but
I haven't.
I don't remember the last time that I've been like in a lineup at McDonald's and seen like the toy display for the Happy Meal toys and thought. The last time I've been so excited about just looking at those toys because they looked really fun to collect. There's 12 of them in all, and they look. I just imagine if I was like a few years younger, I'd collect them.
Your eye.
Yeah.
Yuri, you're gonna die.
This is why when girls talk to me, insinuate they want to maybe go out on a date, I start thinking about McDonald's.
how excited you are for the Minions.
At the end of the whole episode.
By the way, I'm not excited for the Minions, by the way. I want to put that out.
Why is that?
I think they're shitty, like cheap, like very blatantly obvious marketing ploys.
It's all just going to be a big money grab.
It is. Yeah. Like, it is so like blatant. Anyways, we'll not get into it, but Let's finish this fucking podcast.
After everything we've talked about, this is too controversial of a topic to touch on.
No, well, it's not for this podcast. I'll put it that way.
Next week.
Next week we'll talk about my minions.
Yeah, we're doing a whole Minions podcast.
Minion blowout.
Minion blowout.
Man, Laura, I bet she wishes she was part of this. What? Talking about minions.
Yeah. Laura is obsessed with Minions.
Oh my god, she like. I had to go to her house to like get something once, and then I saw her room, and it was like covered in minion shit. There's like little plastic minions everywhere.
Yeah,
like she had a minion bed sheet, minion curtains. Even her little pillow looked like a minion. It was very weird.
Really?
Yeah,
man.
Minion pillows.
Laura stays an intern. We never hire her for real.
I know, right? Oh god, it was embarrassing. But anyways,
all right. So at the end of this whole episode, if that's what you want to call it, the gang. I mean, Doug and Patty have their moment, and like always, nothing is ever finalized between the two of them. It's always left open. It's like, Patty, Doug, why don't you two just get together already? I mean, like, this is your last chance.
Already.
If it's not now, then never.
Yeah.
If not Disney Live, then I don't know.
I think it is never. Wait, I don't know. Maybe it isn't.
No, well, maybe in the movie. I don't know.
I heard that. No, I don't think they do in the movie.
They all decide to go to Swirlies. Don't know what the hell that is. And Demon Roger, as soon as she says, "Let's go to Swirlies," Patty says that. Demon Roger uncharacteristically says, "That's a great idea," with like a happy-go-lucky swing of the arm.
That's a great idea. By the way, that was a great impression of how Roger sounds like in this show.
Oh,
that's a great idea.
Like I said,
hey, Funny.
A 90s
and Roger.
Or a 1920s. I was thinking of the guy from The Piano Singer, the 1927 talkie. What was his name? Sorry, folks.
The jazz singer, man.
The jazz. You know what I mean?
No.
Oh well.
I'm sorry. I'll look it up.
It's whatever.
Anyways,
overall, I think, like I was saying before, this Disney's live Doug show fails because it tries to tackle too much of the show's different stories and comes off feeling like a non-linear random mess. I get that they are trying to pay tribute to the show, but they would have done better focusing on one shorter episode actually from the show, or two, not just this array of, because there's just nothing going on for me. There's nothing going on here.
Do you think? Are you just saying that? Or are you just saying that because like there's no Mr. Dink in this episode?
Mr. Dink was an absence that was like very strongly felt, and I was like looking for other ways that I thought maybe they were trying to make up for his absence with the joke that could have possibly been related to not being able to sexually satisfy someone, which was when the whole, like, when everybody's beating off at the big blowout, and then they only take a minute to finish beating off, and then Patty comes up and says, "Well, that was quick."
You just like to read into.
Yeah.
But he was in it. He was in it though. He
was in the background for a second on the screen.
Yeah. But at the very end, he appears again in the background of the screen, and you can clear as day hear his voice singing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's the same actor.
And they said that all the
there's nobody quite like Doug.
He'd know. There was a thing or a little blurb on the YouTube video that said that it was all sung live.
Yeah, well, I think he meant like all the characters, because there's a part at the beginning where you see like an animated Skeeter and Patty and Roger, but then they jump out. I think he meant like that part was all done live. Like they just synced up with the lip sync of the characters.
Do you know who's the voice talent? If you want to, voice talent, sure. Behind Dink.
Oh, Richard Newman.
And now, did he do any other voices?
He did Skeeter too.
Okay, so if they could do, I was just gonna say, like, if they brought Skeeter on the show, why not Mr. Dink? Excuse me, but it's not the same performer who did.
Yeah. Also, I don't think the little kids in Disney World really want a live action Mr. Dink.
That's probably right. That is why
I think that was a good decision.
Disney Live did not have Dink for. Yeah, right. I think that's probably a good point.
Man, if they that's the 2 years. That was pretty good.
It's like, are we really gonna put this guy in the same room with an audience full of children.
No, that's like I don't even think he's allowed to go to Disney World.
Well, it wasn't Disney World.
No, it's Disney World.
No, it's MGM Studios Disney.
That's Disney World.
Is
That's
it
part
in
of Disney World.
Get
yeah.
out of here. You know what?
What?
I was in Disney World.
What?
When I was late December 1999.
This is running.
I could have gone.
You could have saw this.
Maybe I did.
I was never in the position.
Maybe I was traumatized and I've forgotten.
Oh my god.
All right, and I was thinking about this too. They had others when I was in Disney World, late 90s.
Yeah.
1999 to be exact.
Mhm.
I remember that I went to other shows. They had like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Again thing, but it wasn't like based on the third movie in that trilogy. It was like an original short interactive theater experience. And then there was
and there was the audience.
Yeah, it was like the dog got blown up.
Yeah,
and then
I never
sneezed,
saw that.
And I was there. It's not something you saw; it's something you experienced.
Well, you got shrunk down, and then the dog sneezed on you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, there's other shit too. There was like the Star Trek thing where it was Star Trek where you were like on a ship.
No, Star Wars.
Was it Star Wars?
It's Star Wars.
How do you know?
I go to Disney World all the time.
Oh well, this was 1999.
Also, Disney owns Star Wars now.
Yeah. I thought it was Star Trek, but either way, Star Trek, Star Wars. It's like you're on like a shuttle ship that's transporting. It's like we gotta get these people to safety,
and it's piloted by Paul Rubin's robot.
These were like there was all kinds of stuff like that. My point is based on other pop cultural phenomenons.
Yeah,
and those things actually either focused on like a main like certain plot, one decisive plot from whatever they were drawing from, like a TV show or a movie, or it came up with its own like original good little story.
Right, that took
place.
But
Doug Live is just a mess.
But like stuff like the Star Tours thing, like that's its own story, sure, but it also reenacts like you going through the trenches of the Death Star and like famous moments from the movies like that. And I think a lot of the licensed properties at Disney World do kind of do that. They kind of give like the best moments of every property. So I think they do this in Doug too, because everyone loves the beats. Everyone loves Quail Man, apparently.
Yeah.
They know that Doug likes Patty, that Roger's a dick, and, Pork Chop's there too, I guess. So I feel like it did a pretty decent job.
Do you think if I had a time machine and I went back to 1999 in Florida, right before Y2K, and do you think I should like go back, if I could, that I should go and see that show?
Of all the things you could possibly do with that kind of power, I would say yes, you should go and see that and then come straight back here.
There you have it, folks. If you have a time machine and you ever have the chance to go back to any time between
Don't kill Hitler. Don't kill Hitler.
Well, we wouldn't want to do that because
then we wouldn't have Inglourious Bastards.
Right. Yeah, you wouldn't want to go that far back in time because that would there's too much time has passed. We'd come back to the present and like George Bush would still be president or something like that.
Right.
But you go back to 1999. I've hated the last 16 years, so that'd be cool if everything was different.
Go on Doug Live. Go to the World Trade Center. Look around. Have a blue Pepsi Blue.
Look at the get a Pepsi.
Yeah.
With the little Star Wars Episode 1 character profiles on it. Yeah.
Aw, man, you should just, like, spoil everything, like, that happens at the next 2 Star Wars movies and post it on the internet, and then no one will believe you.
Go drive by the huge lineups, like, the span for blocks of to entrance into the Star Wars Episode 1 opening night. Drive by and go, it actually sucks! And just hear everybody go, aww.
Come on!
Come on, we know you're a time traveler.
Fucking idiot.
And I'd ask any of the listeners who have any other ideas how they would describe Demon Roger, please leave a comment.
Yeah, watch the Doug Lives all over YouTube. Watch it yourself and then respond with what you think Demon Roger looks like.
Blanca.
I think he looks like either Blanca or Macklemore from The Mask.
Who was Macklemore?
Macklemore is the singer. Who was popular a couple of years back. He was a rapper. He was the white rapper.
From The Mask?
No, he looked like Macklemore if he was in Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Oh, okay. Right.
Like smoking. Somebody stop me.
I love The Mask. Yeah.
Alrighty then.
He was one of my like things that I thought he might look like, but not like Jim Carrey as the mask.
It looks like
not
the son of the
Jamie
mask.
Kennedy, not Jamie Kennedy.
Okay.
But the DeLorean, the bad guy from the first, was his name DeLorean? No, that's the car from Back to the Future. No, it was his name too.
It looks like a car.
The guy, he puts on the mask and he turns into a car.
Marty, we gotta go back in fucking time. Whoa, Jack. Wow, that's a heavy shit. What, we become assholes or something?
No, Marty, nobody's an asshole.
It's your kids. They're born without assholes.
I went back in time and made it so nobody has an asshole, Marty. I don't know why I did it. They said I was insane. They should never have let me go.
I like that his girlfriend was right next to him when he's like, no, it's your kids. The girlfriend's like, wait, what?
Yeah, they're in high school.
Hold up. Hold the fucking phone. We're gonna get married. Just, I was just having fun, I didn't really want to get into this kind of commitment.
Whoa.
This is very frustrating to me right now.
We haven't even gone to college yet.
I wanted to be a doctor.
That's right.
Let's end this fucking podcast finally.
Love this. Yes. So, Thanks everybody.
Goodbye.